Teachers to the world. It is World Teachers Day. Happy Teachers Day to all teachers out there.
As a proud student, I take this opportunity to also wish teachers and every personnel out there happy World Teachers Day. My good name is Thomas Otieno. I'm here with my teacher, here to interview him on his passion and career about teaching. To my co-host.
Wow, happy Teachers Day. My name is Alpha Kayuki and I'm here just to for us to hold a discussion about what entails teaching, what teaching pertains. Yeah,
My name is Dennis Ondari. I'm a teacher by profession. It is our day, teachers. Be happy. It is World Teachers Day. And I'd like to have a brief discussion with my students. The actually candidates are waiting to do their final examination this year. And by the way, success in your exam.
thank you.
Yeah, all the best. Yeah.
So without further ado, I'll start first by asking, what is your theme in your dress code today? What has made you? Oh, by the way, the guy is waiting.
Yeah, I think I hope it's not lunchtime. Not so that I don't keep you guys here.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So back to my question. My question was, what's your theme for your dress code this wonderful day?
I'm actually dressed in black and white. They're the main colors, and it's because I'm a patriotic Kenyan. These are two colors that stand out in our national flag. Black symbolizes black lives, Kenyan lives. I love Kenya. And the white symbolizes peace. I'm a peacemaker. I love peace. And as a teacher, we need to have hope always. So for us to have that hope, yellow is my wristband and it symbolizes hope. Yes.
Well, having that in mind, since it symbolizes hope, what makes you be passionate so much about teaching? What is this enthusiasm that makes people want to become teachers in schools and wanting to impact children with knowledge as they grow?
Teaching is one profession that is really fulfilling because you're working directly with people whose lives are actually in your hands. They're looking up to you as a role model. They're looking up to you as a counselor. They're looking up to you as a source of hope. So if you're that kind of person who likes improving other people's lives without feeling bad, remember teachers are the only people who actually train people to become better people than them. You know, the society is so rotten that sometimes people don't feel hard for others. But as teachers, we always feel proud of our students when they even do better than us. Yeah. So that is what actually pushes me to be a teacher, add value to young people, and see them transform to be grown-ups, venturing into different fields of their career.
To my co-host.
Okay. My question would be, okay, on the same track of impacting students, how do you manage your relations with students in class and outside class? How do you do it?
All right. So you're basically asking about my relations with the students.
Yeah.
So we'll have the social relations as usual. They'll have the professional relations, maybe when it comes to classroom work. But basically, as a teacher, my role is to create a good rapport with my students. So once you create a good rapport, you become friends with your learners, then obviously they are going to like you. And when they like you, they will want to do things that will not disappoint you, but will make you happy. So if you are outside the classroom, you will relate well. If you are inside the classroom, you will still relate well by first making them to be your friends. Alright? So the secret is creating good rapport, then setting rules. Let them own the process of coming up with those appropriate rules that should guide the learning process. Yes.
My co-host.
Now, you spoke about knowing, trying to know your students in terms of relation and bond. Now, my question would be, how do you get to identify the rowdiness of a student that is literally non-focused in class? Because, as you can see, in the class fraternity, We have those students who are willing to concentrate and offer themselves, really acquire knowledge. But we also have another student who is somehow facing mental challenges. So how can you explain to us on how you can identify a student who is well psychologically stable and a student who is mentally unstable and requires mental support?
Well, as a teacher, you're supposed to cater for all learners' needs. Yeah, I know here in Kenya, the teacher-student ratio is still a bit of challenge, whereby you find maybe you have a classroom of 50 students, you are with them for 40 minutes, and you're supposed to cater for the needs of each of that child. But what you do, obviously, as you get into a classroom, you need to set a conducive environment for learning to take place. So as you step in, maybe you say good morning, good afternoon, depending on how you want to greet your students so that you can start off. You can get the body language. Maybe one may not see the need to respond back. Another one may decide not to say anything about what you are saying, alright? Another one may respond, and in the process, you realize they are not even being part of the discussion. Alright? So at that point, you could even see someone crying, and that is a red flag. Alright? So you can see the non-verbal expressions. Some can even go verbally. Alright? You ask a question like, good afternoon, what did we say about ABCD? Then a student will just raise up their hand and they will see something that is so irrelevant. Alright? That will be already a wake up call for you as a teacher. Like, is this student okay? Is he alert? Is he seeking attention? Then at that point, you are able to identify them. You can obviously reach out to them later after the lesson.
Okay. Now to my final question. Now, we have students taking different careers and different courses, right? Yeah. So, what advice would you give to students who are willing to try and become teachers in the future? Because as you can see, if you can look at the current generation, we have majority of students having a negative attitude towards being teachers. So, what is the best advice you can give students to have positive value in terms of choosing teaching as a career?
Alright. I usually ask my students whenever I'm in class, how many want to be teachers? You will see very few hands being lifted up. Then the next question becomes, will you want to be parents? And you'll hear a chorus, yes, yes, some are already parents, they will always make jokes.
Yeah.
But no one wants to be a teacher. So I again ask, so who is going to teach your children? So it is a challenging question I keep posing to them. Like, if you want to be a parent, who is going to teach your child? Who is going to help that your child, achieve whatever they want in the society? That is number one. So it is a question we can all ask ourselves. If you don't want to become teachers, who is going to teach our children? Number two, being a teacher, you need to have passion. You need to have a big heart, because being a teacher, it goes beyond going into a classroom, preparing for a lesson, and delivering. That is not teaching. Teaching, to me, I'll say it is a lifestyle, because both in the classroom and outside the classroom, students are looking at you as a role model, they are looking at you as a counselor, they are looking at you as a source of hope. You are a disciplinarian. Parents are looking at you as a religious leader, alright? In fact, sometimes they will perceive you as a nurse. Some will even look at you as a doctor, because a student will come to you and they tell you, I'm having headache, I'm having diarrhea, I'm having this, I'm having that. You can't diagnose, but you need to listen to them. So if you are out there and you feel you have this big heart, you can listen to people, you can offer solutions, you can go beyond what the duty calls for, then I welcome you to join the teaching profession. It is quite demanding, but at the same time, it is fulfilling. When you see a young boy, a young girl come to school not knowing to even write their name, and then after some time you see them transition into grown-ups, running, big organizations. It is so fulfilling.
Yeah. Thank you for that wonderful response. Now, giving it back to my co-host Alpha.
Wow. On the same course of making or living your life as a teacher, making teaching a lifestyle. I mean, what, or do you have something that you have initiated outside class that enhances your 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 your, your effort of actually improving the relationship that you have with your students?
Oh yes, I do. Just like a book and a book alone makes Jack a dull boy. Yeah. So sometimes being in a classroom, throughout can be boring, and people will always want to explore different environments. So that explains why I do mental health advocacy, so that when we are outside, we can always have discussions alongside other activities in the line of mental health. I'm the patron drama club. So by the way, I'm a dancer. I love dancing. So at times when we have meetings for drama, we'll get into different activities to just also help nurture the talents of these young people. I'm also so passionate about environment. By the way, if you can see around here, the young trees that are growing, I'm sure you can see. I'm so happy and proud to say that I was actually the one who pioneered this planting of these trees, alright? And I'm happy to see them grow. So when I was doing it, I actually didn't do it alone. I did it with some students who are in the environment club. So such activities, they improve our social relations. They also break the classroom monotony. Yes.
On to my definitive question. Mr. Dennis, do you believe that you are the best teacher in Kenya or globally?
Oh yes, I am the best. I'm
Wow.
simply the best. Yeah.
I actually expected that.
Yeah.
I know him to be the best teacher in Jamhuri. Um, yeah. What are you doing differently? What is that one thing that you do it unconventionally? Like you don't do it like any other teacher that makes you the best.
I'm the best because I give each learner the attention they require. It doesn't matter the academic ability, because I know many times, even as when we grew up as students, you could find that there were those teachers who could look at students in terms of their mental ability, academic excellence. So you find that some students who are not really excelling in terms of academics were being discriminated. I don't discriminate. I'm so inclusive in terms of bringing all learners on board. So, and I feel a lot of this when learners confide on me to tell me they have this challenge to just try and help them out. So being an inclusive teacher is a plus, and that is what the search needs currently. We need more love, we need a lot of kindness. Inclusivity is my thing.
So, okay, according to what you've explained, teaching, I mean, just to ask you, how do you differentiate your parenting role and your teaching role in school? Like how do you, where do you draw the line in terms of where you stop being a parent and you become a teacher? You formalize things and you make things official. Like how do you, because I believe with students it might be hard because some students might attach to you being a teacher, you being a parent more than you being a teacher. Yeah, so how do you manage that?
Well, a very complex question, but I'll try to answer it to my level best. Teaching and parenting cannot be separated, all right? So even as you go into that classroom, you are going in as a teacher, but you are not just a teacher, but you're also going in as a parent. So it depends on how the learner is going to perceive you, all right? So basically what happens is role modeling, because learners understand best by seeing. When they see, they understand better than what they hear or what we tell them. So to make sure that learning takes place, it is about doing more in terms of character, in terms of activities, taking up initiatives. Of course, once in a while, you have to remind them that as much as I'm here as your teacher. Remember, I'm now your parent. Your parents spend very little time with you, so you really have to be there. You basically, I'll say, you can't remove this crown and put this one. They just have to run concurrently. You are a teacher at the same time, you are the parent figure. At the same time, you're not just the parent figure, you are the brother, alright? If it is a female, they have to be the sister, so that it is cutting across. At one point, you needed to agree as brothers. At one point, you need to give them that perception of a parent to enable them understand things. Then at one point, you need to be this firm disciplinarian, not just a parent, but again, someone who's there to make those corrections. Because I know many times some parents will shy off from correcting their sons or daughters, depending on how they relate.
On to my August.
Now, with that wonderful speech, it just gave me a quick reminder of a few things that have been taking place in our country. You see, we've been having cases of student-teacher relations being kind of a bit too close, and hearing teachers having relations with their students. Some are being raped, some are being molested. So, how do we get to minimize such kind of events from taking place in the school fraternity? Because at the end of the day, we still have teachers acting as parents, but at the same time, the people to give the students the knowledge and also emotional support that they need. So how do we minimize it?
It is actually sad when we get to hear that students whose lives have been entrusted on us have been harassed sexually. At the same time, the society is looking at us as role models, as the mirrors, as transformers, and as people who can bring change. So I want to say it is sad that sometimes some people do that. It is a sad state, but we can always do better by looking at these children as our own children, because I'm sure any parent out there may not want to do anything to harm their child. So to my fellow teachers out there, let's treat these children as our own children. Let's look at them as young people whose lives are entrusted in us, and they're looking at us as a source of hope. I know many are vulnerable and they may not even be suspicious about our actions, but it is us to take responsibility and know that we have a role to mold them, we have a role to guide them, we have a role to advise, and we have a role to create a safe space, alright? So that every other time that child looks at you, they will see hope, they will see peace, they will see a bright future. And if things get to worst, guys, we can always get our adults to get into relationships. I mean, there are so many people out there, by the way, who are desperate for life partners. So we can always get people who are compatible, people who are ready to, to date, and we just move on. Let's treat these children as children and let's protect them. Our role is more of protection and mentorship and not exploitation. Yes.
Thank you for that wonderful response. Now, giving it back to my co-host,
Okay, I think it's my last question. Being a World Teachers Day, today we're marking the World Teachers Day. What have you achieved as a teacher, specifically a teacher in Jamhuri High School, a school in Kenya where we have boys of different backgrounds? What have you achieved? What do you think you will do better now that we're marking this date? And yeah.
Well, I think I'll stand up. As a teacher in Jamhuri High School, I've actually been here since 2018. Yes, 2018 is when I came here, around June. And I've initiated a number of things as a teacher. Just like I said, I'm so passionate about environment. because we are trying to see how much we can do to combat effects of global warming. So as a teacher, I have achieved uh, sensitizing the Jamhuri community about tree planting. As you can see, we have a few trees we planted here. This is just a small quarter. We had so many other places within the school compound where we've planted seedlings. We've gone beyond Jamhuri. There was a time we worked with the Hindu Council of Kenya, plus other religious organizations. We planted 10,000 seedlings in Ngong Forest. And I want to believe that is one thing that makes me proud every time I look back on what we did and the impact it will have in the next maybe 4 or 5 years. Besides that, I'm also a very passionate mental health advocate. When I came to Jamhuri, I want to say that there was no discussion about mental health. But I began it because I'm so passionate about it. And currently, my boys will see me and they see mental health. Because sometimes you could walk into a classroom and people start saying mental health, meaning I've managed to create awareness. At least people understand that mental health is real, and they know that we all have our high times, our low moments, and one doesn't have to be running out there stripped naked for them to be having a mental problem. So for me, that is a plus, and I'm really happy on this day when we are celebrating our day as teachers, creating mental health awareness. Then, apart from that, I want to say that I was the pioneer teacher here to take care of adolescents living with HIV. It's a program that is being run currently in Nairobi and the Kiambu counties. And having been selected here in Jamhuri to take care of those students, it has given me a lot of peace. It has given me a lot of joy. Then it has been an eye opener, like looking at those students, and I'm just seeing them smiling despite the fact that they are going through a lot. It's a good thing, yeah. Then lastly, I think I'm growing professionally because I've prepared candidates for national exams year in, year out. Yeah.
Wow. What an inclusive profile to look at. My second question was, what will you do better? I mean, what will you do differently from how you've been doing it now that you're not in this state?
Well, I think I may not have anything new to bring on board, but to pray for God's grace, to pray for God's favor, to have more energy so that I'm able to do what I'm exactly doing but more. Because we have a population of about 1,400 students, and they all need love, they all need attention, they all need someone to speak to. So at times you may not be able to listen to all of them. So I'm only praying for the grace. Teachers Day, as we mark it, we need more grace. Yeah.
I want to
Maybe to just give it a better summary, I need more energy to embrace more inclusivity.
I want to bring this discussion to a more comprehensive one. I would want to ask, are you okay? Are there students that you are attending daily?
It depends, because
those students who these one I'll see on Monday, the next one on Tuesday. I mean, you have a routine of students that now that you are dealing with mental health in the school in Jamhuri, are there students, the specific students that you mentor?
yes, I have a schedule. Although, just like I said, this is just like any other society. There are those cases you'll have for the first time, especially as a counselor or even as a caretaker. When our cases come for the first time, of course you'll engage, have the conversation, see how to make things work. So you must have a referral, like the next appointment when you're going to meet that client. It may not be so regular, but it is always good to have the next meeting to follow up, to know whether they are making any progress. So it may not be like every day, but once in a while you'll have like you, we meet again on Thursday, we meet on Monday, like that. But generally it will be on need basis. So if a case arises, you'll handle it there and then if there's need for more, sessions, then now you schedule. Yeah.
Before I give my here to just bring in the parting shot, I would like to ask, I mean, do you have, or what do you think should be done if it matters mental health in Kenya, specifically to students? What should be done for students who are having mental health issues?
If I was a policymaker in this country, I'll actually advocate for every school, every learning institution in this country to have a mental health expert, to have a psychologist, someone who will be stationed there full time. Because the thing is, teachers, we are counselors. But you find that the workload we have may not give us enough time to do both roles, fully. You can only have little time to give these students attention in terms of their mental health. So that one makes it a bit incomplete for the learners, and it means we are not able to reach out as many people as we could. So if they wanted to save these people, because again, if you don't talk about mental health, then you are losing it as a society. Each school should have a professional psychologist who will be focusing on the mental health issues of these children. And mental health should be taken very serious. Actually, it should be taken very serious, like any other issue. Remember some time back when HIV issue was taken up as a very serious issue, and every other school was talking about HIV/AIDS. There were campaigns all over about HIV/AIDS. I'm looking forward for such a day when mental health will be given that kind of attention. So we need donors, we need people of goodwill to initiate projects and just creating awareness. Yeah. So once we have awareness, then it will be easier for the young people to also come out, because they will understand that mental health is not just about stripping naked and running naked in the streets. Yeah.
It's more than that.
Yeah, it is more than that.
Let me give my
Thank you, Alpha, for those wonderful questions. Now, as we come to an end of the interview, as a prescription from the doctor, what advice would you give to a fellow teacher who feels unappreciated during this glorious and wonderful day?
To my fellow teachers out there, I know at times we feel like the society is not doing enough for us as teachers, but my advice to you is be happy in whatever situation you find yourself in. Celebrate yourself, be thankful to God, and just pray to God to give you good health. Don't wait for someone to come and celebrate you. Personally, I decided to celebrate myself and to just have this discussion and have the views of my students, about being a teacher. So sometimes I know it actually can be heartbreaking when you do so much as a teacher and no one even comments the work you are doing. Learn to appreciate yourself and just know that you are so special. That without you, and you, the society will not be a better place. Let us give our best with love. Let us give our best with kindness. And God is going to bless us. Yes.
Very well said. And I believe we have come to the end of this wonderful interview. And for those who wish to follow us, please follow Mr. Dennis at
Dennis Ondari, that's my YouTube channel, or you can also follow me on my Twitter handle at Dennis_Ondari. Thank you so much to my students. It was nice having you here. I also feel safe, by the way. Yeah, I feel more safe. Yeah. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Success in your forthcoming exam.
Thank you, Mwalimu.
Be an ambassador of inclusivity out there.
Sure.
All the best on my new exams.
Thank you very much.
When you go out there, be a good ambassador of inclusivity. Thank you so much. God bless you. To my viewers, God bless you. To the teachers out there, once again, happy Teachers Day.